Okay, I'm gonna make some spaghetti sauce in the Instant Pot. I've got some tomatoes that I had from our garden that I had cooked down a little bit and then frozen, and I thawed them out and they don't have anything added to them. I'm gonna blenderize them a little bit, get rid of some of the skins, and then we're gonna make some spaghetti sauce in the pot.
I see some of our yellow tomatoes.
Yep, I added in a few of the tomatoes that we had left. Few cherry tomatoes. The yellowish orange ones here are Sun Golds. They are awesome. They're very sweet. They've got a lot of flavor. And next year I hope we'll plant a lot more of those. But I'm just going to pulverize stuff here. It just kind of blenderizes up some of the seeds. It also blenderizes up the skin so you don't have huge chunks of skin in there. Now if you're really particular, you could strain this, but I don't mind chunks of tomato. I just don't want the huge chunks of skin in there. We'll kind of mess them up a little. Now this is just tomato. It doesn't have anything added to it. So we're going to add a little more stuff to this, and then we'll start adding spices.
We're out of wine, otherwise we'd
add a little wine.
Add a bit of Merlot.
Merlot or Burgundy works good, but it'll be good without it too.
Yep. Put both the peppers in there?
Yeah. We had a couple small peppers. One's red, one's green. I'm going to dice them up. I've got some frozen pepper onion mixture in the frying pan that I'm going to add this to and cook it up. That's the frozen pepper and onion mixture I'm cooking up. I added a couple more cans of canned tomatoes into the pot. And we'll add the peppers and onions and see how full it is. I may add one more can of tomatoes that I've got. Onions cooking. They don't have to be completely done. I just want them partially cooked. If I can brown them up a little bit, get a little more flavor on them. Once I get the peppers and onions in, we'll start adding spices. I added a 12-ounce can of tomato paste to the tomatoes. As I said, we'll see how full. It's got a max line, so we'll see how full it gets with the peppers and onions here. I think I'm going to be able to add one more can of tomatoes to it. So the peppers and onions, I've got them, they're just pretty much wilted down a little bit. I'll just add them to the pot. Drain a little bit of the grease off. I had some bacon grease left over in my frying pan from breakfasts, and I just fried the onions and peppers in that little bit of bacon grease. So I added 2 bay leaves. I added about 2 teaspoons of oregano. I'm going to add about the same of some basil. We'll stir that all in, and I don't think I'm going to add any more tomatoes. We're getting quite full here. Just kind of mix everything in, and I'm going to add a little bit of salt. Those tomatoes that I cooked and froze didn't have anything added to them. They were just tomatoes, so I think I'm going to add a little bit of salt to this, and a little over a teaspoon. Due to taste. Add whatever seasonings you like in the amount you like. You can always adjust it.
And you can adjust it on your own plate too.
Yep. Make sure I've got everything in it here. We'll get the lid on. We'll set it for high pressure for 30 minutes. And this is when I made tomato sauce regularly. We'd start it on a Saturday morning, cook it all day, restart it and cook it Sunday morning, and if it was thick enough, we would can it. And
Sunday afternoon. And
yeah, and this is gonna do that in 30 minutes, and then I'll be able to can it or freeze it. So let's get the lid on here. So we'll stop the saute. Make sure that your knob is to the ceiling, not the venting. And what we're going to do is pressure. Oh, come on. Let's get it on here. Come on. Well, that's... So when you turn it on, had to hit manual and then program it for 30 minutes. It's on, it's got to come up to pressure, and then it will start its counting. So we'll just set it aside. Once it's done its 30 minutes, we'll let it release on its own for a little bit, and then we'll vent it some and check it out. We can adjust the seasonings afterwards to some if we need to, and hit it on saute for a few minutes to get the flavorings where they need to be, but that'll be pretty close. That's what I normally do. So it's on, it's coming up to pressure, the little button is up, and it should start its countdown soon.
just about done. 23 more minutes, and to let the steam escape slowly. Oh yeah.
It's been counting down and decompressing itself for a little over 45 minutes, but I don't know if you can see, but the pressure valve is still up, so there's still quite a bit of pressure in there. So I'm going to vent it. And you got to be very careful when you do this, because the steam will get you. And I'm going to turn my fan on here to suck it out. That'll take a few minutes to vent, and then we can open it. You'll know that it's decompressed when that little button has dropped back down. Smells good.
Yeah, it does.
So the little pin has dropped. That means it has vented. So I'm going to take the lid off. Actually don't need that pot holder. It's going to be boiling hot inside, so in fact it is still bubbling. So we'll give it a good stir. It's not as thick as I like, so I may put it on saute a little bit and let it thicken a little bit with the lid off. I think I could have added another can. It's not bad. I'm going to taste for seasonings and see if it needs anything here. So it needed a little bit of seasoning adjustment. I added a little bit more garlic powder and a little bit more parsley. It's got enough oregano and basil in it. It just needs a little more garlic taste to it. And I want it a little bit thicker. So I'm going to add another can of tomato paste. And I'm going to put it back on to cook for another, I think we'll check it in 15. So it shouldn't take too long to come back up to pressure because it's quite hot. So I'm adding another big can of tomato paste. We'll stir that in, and as I said, and then we'll go. I think I'll set it for 15. I think that should be plenty.
Yep. Almost time.
So the time is up, and I'm just venting and turn the thing to vent so that we'll just release the rest of the pressure and we can take the lid off. It'll take a few minutes for that to vent itself, and we'll see what we got. So it's much thicker, and it's done. And we're going to have a little of this for supper, and then I'll probably wind up canning or freezing the rest. Smells good. So I put a little sauce in the bottom of my, I think it's a 7 by 11 dish. And I've got a veal chop that I very lightly browned in some oil. And a little more sauce over that. I'm going to put some Parmesan cheese over it. And we'll put it in the oven and bake it for about 20 minutes. With the foil on, and then about 10 minutes off. And we're going to have a little spaghetti with it. And so I took the lid, the foil off after 20 minutes and sprinkled it with the Parmesan and put it back in for another 10. And this is after 10 minutes. Here's the pasta. And dinner is served.
Well, here we go. Final jaunt of the night. I don't know. I think we might be losing another one. The one that I was going to make dog food, I was able to go into the bush and pick her right up. Come on. That's right, good boys. Yeah. Come on. Hey, come on. Peace out, all.